single interview question has rejected thousands of AI engineer candidates. Build a chatbot that knows everything inside a company with 2 million documents. New files arrive every day. Retraining a LLM daily is impossible. So what's the architecture? And the answer is something called RAG. Hi, I'm Latika. Welcome to Tab 47. If you have heard of RAG but never really understood it, by the end of this video you will. Before we understand what RAG is, we first need to understand why it was invented. Because here's the thing, large language models are incredible. They can write code, solve math problems, summarize books, write essays, explain complex concepts, even help you prepare for interviews. But despite all that intelligence, they have one massive limitation. They only know what they were trained on. Think about it for a second. An LLM like ChatGPT, Claude or Llama doesn't learn something new every time you ask it a question. Its knowledge comes from the data it was trained on. That training process takes months, requires thousands of GPUs and costs millions of dollars. Once that training is done, the model's complete knowledge is essentially frozen. It's like printing a textbook. Once it's printed, you can't just add a new chapter without printing the whole book again. Large language models work in a very similar way. Now ask yourself this, are you going to retrain a massive language model every single time one PDF changes? Of course not. It would be unbelievably expensive, it would take days or even weeks, and by the time the new model is ready, another 100 documents have already changed. So retraining simply doesn't scale. You might think, okay, then let's fine-tune the model. But even fine-tuning isn't the right solution, because fine-tuning teaches the model how to behave, how to respond, or how to adapt to a specific task or style. It's not designed to keep injecting constantly changing knowledge every single day. Imagine fine-tuning your AI every morning just because someone updated the company's leave policy. That would be a nightmare. So engineers had to think differently. Instead of asking, how do we make the AI memorize everything, they asked a much smarter question. What if the AI didn't have to memorize anything at all? What if whenever a user asked the question, the AI could first search through the company's knowledge, find only the most relevant information, read it, and then generate an answer based on those documents? In other words, instead of relying on only its memory, the AI could look up information first and answer second. And that simple idea became one of the biggest breakthroughs in modern AI. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation. But before we dive into how it actually works, let's first understand what the name itself actually means. Because once you understand those three words, the entire architecture starts making sense. Now that we know why RAG was created, let's finally understand what it actually is. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. At first, it sounds like one of those complicated AI terms, but once you break it down, it's actually a very simple idea. Let's understand each word one by one. The first word is retrieval. Retrieval simply means finding the right information. Imagine you're asked a question during an open book exam. You don't immediately start writing the answer. The first thing you do is open the book, flip through pages, find the relevant chapter, and only then you start answering. That's retrieval. You're not generating an answer yet, you're simply searching for the right information. Now let's move to the second word, augmented. Augmented simply means adding extra information. Once you have found the relevant pages in your book, you place them in front of you. Now you have additional context that helps you answer accurately. In other words, you're augmenting your knowledge with information you just retrieved. And finally, generation. This is the part we are already familiar with. The language model, whether it's GPT, Claude, Gemini or Llama, takes all the information and generates a natural language response. So if we put everything together, the AI doesn't immediately answer your question. Instead, it follows three simple steps. First, retrieve. Find the most relevant information. Second, augment. Give that information to the language model. Third, generate. Let the model generate the final answer based on the information. That's literally what Retrieval Augmented Generation means. But here's where things get really interesting. You might be wondering, how does an AI search through millions of documents in just a few milliseconds? If it is not using Ctrl+F and searching for exact keywords, then how does it know which document is actually relevant? That's where the real magic begins. To understand that, we first need to look at the complete architecture of a RAG system. So now we know what RAG is, but here's the real question, how does it actually work? Let's imagine a company wants to build an AI assistant for its employees. The company has thousands or even millions of documents. All these documents are collected into a central knowledge base. But here's where we hit our first challenge. Can we simply give an entire 500-page PDF to the language model every time someone asks a question? Not really. Language models have something called a context window, which is the maximum amount of information they can process in a single request. Even though modern models have very large context windows, sending hundreds of pages every time would still be slow, expensive, and highly inefficient. So instead of storing documents as one huge block of text, they are divided into much smaller pieces. These smaller pieces are called chunks. Think of a product manual. Instead of treating the entire manual as one document, it's split into logical sections. One chunk might explain installation, another might describe troubleshooting. Another could contain warranty information. Now, instead of searching through an entire manual, the system only needs to find the few chunks that are actually relevant to the user's questions. This makes retrieval much faster and more efficient. But another question immediately comes up: how does the AI know which chunks are relevant? Surely it can read millions of chunks every time someone asks a question. That's where one of the most important concepts in modern AI comes in: embeddings. An embedding is simply a numerical representation of text. Instead of storing words exactly as they are, the AI converts every chunk into a list of numbers. Now that might sound strange. Why turn words into numbers? Because computers don't understand language the way humans do. They understand mathematics. But converting text into numbers, the AI can capture the meaning of a sentence, not just the word themselves. For example, imagine these three sentences. How do I reset my password? I forgot my login credentials. What's today's weather? The first two use different words and they talk about the same idea. The third sentence talks about something completely different. A good embedding model places the first two much closer together because their meanings are similar, while the weather-related sentence is placed much further away. This is called semantic similarity. Instead of searching for exact keywords, RAG searches for similar meaning, and that's one of the biggest reasons it works so well. Once all these embeddings are created, they are stored inside something called a vector database. We can think of a vector database as a highly specialized search engine, but unlike Google, which often relies heavily on keywords, a vector database searches based on meaning. When a user asks a question, that question is also converted into an embedding. The system that compares it with the embeddings of all the stored chunks. It looks for the chunks whose meanings are closest to the user's question. Those are retrieved. Finally, those retrieved chunks are sent to the language model along with the user's original question. The language model reads both, understands the context, and generates an answer based on the retrieved information. And that's the entire RAG pipeline. At no point the language model learns new information permanently. Nothing was added to its memory, nothing was retrained. It simply received the right information at the right time, used it to answer the question, and then moved on to the next request. That's why RAG is so powerful. Instead of making the model remember everything, it teaches the model where to look before answering. By now, you might be wondering, if RAG can give an AI access to new information, why do companies even fine-tune models? After all, both seem to make AI better, but in reality, they solve completely different problems. Let's understand the difference. Imagine you have just hired a new employee. On their first day, you hand them a huge folder containing your company's policies, documentation, and internal processes. Now, there are two ways to prepare them. The first option is to ask them to memorize everything inside that folder. If something changes tomorrow, they'll have to memorize it all over again. That's similar to fine-tuning. You're changing the model itself so it learns new patterns or new behaviors. The second option is simpler. Instead of memorizing everything, you tell them whenever someone asks a question, just open the documentation, find the relevant page, and answer based on that. Now let's compare them side by side. First, updating information. Suppose your company's leave policies changes tomorrow. With RAG, you simply replace the old document with the new one. The next time someone asks about leave policies, the AI retrieves the updated documentations and answers correctly. That's why RAG is ideal for information that changes frequently. Second, what each technique is actually meant for. This is where many beginners get confused. Fine-tuning is not primarily used to teach a model new documents. Instead, it's used to change how the model behaves. For example, you want the model to answer in a specific tone, follow a particular format, understand domain-specific terminologies, or perform a specialized task more effectively. That's where fine-tuning shines. RAG, on the other hand, doesn't change the model's behavior, it changes what information the model has access to at the moment it generates an answer. Think of it this way. Fine-tuning changes the brain, RAG changes the library the brain can read from. Third, cost. Training or fine-tuning a language model requires significant computational resources. It can take hours, days, or even weeks depending on the size of the model. RAG is much cheaper. If a new document arrives, you simply add it to your knowledge base. The language model doesn't need to be retrained. So which one is better? The answer is neither, because they're designed for different purposes. If your goal is to give the AI access to constantly changing information, RAG is usually the better choice. If your goal is to make the AI behave differently, follow a specific style, or perform a specialized task more efficiently, fine-tuning is the right choice. And in many real-world applications, companies don't choose one over the other, they actually use both together. A fine-tuned model combined with a RAG pipeline can deliver highly specialized answers while still staying up to date with the latest information. That's why you'll often hear engineers say, RAG gives the model knowledge, fine-tuning gives the model behavior. And that single sentence is one of the easiest way to remember the difference. Now that we know how RAG works and how it's different from fine-tuning, let's look at where it's actually being used. Because chances are you have already interacted with multiple RAG power applications today without even realizing. The places it's used are customer support chatbots, enterprise AI assistants, healthcare, legal industry, financial services, research and education, software development. But before you start thinking that RAG is the perfect solution, there's something important you should know. Like every technology, RAG also has its limitations, and understanding those limitations is just as important as understanding how it works. So where is all this heading? RAG has evolved rapidly over the last few years. Today, engineers aren't just building basic RAG systems, they are building smarter versions that can reason better, search better, and even work with images and videos. Let's take a quick look at the future of RAG. If you have been following AI news recently, you probably noticed something. People aren't just talking about RAG anymore, they're talking about Agentic RAG, Graph RAG, Multimodal RAG, Hybrid Search, and many other variations. So does that mean RAG is becoming obsolete? Not at all. In fact, almost all of these techniques are simply improvements built on top of the same core idea. The idea of retrieving the right information before generating an answer. Let's briefly understand a few of them. First, hybrid search. A basic RAG system usually retrieves information based on semantic meaning. But sometimes exact keywords are also important. Imagine you're searching for an invoice number, a product ID, or an employee ID. Semantic similarity alone may be not enough. That's where hybrid search comes in. It combines traditional keyword search with semantic search. This allows the system to retrieve documents based on both exact matches and overall meaning, often leading to better results. Second is multimodal RAG. Until now, we have mostly talked about text, but companies don't store only text. They have images, charts, tables, PowerPoint presentations, PDFs, videos, and even audio recordings. A multimodal RAG system can retrieve information from multiple types of data, not just plain text. For example, imagine asking, what does this graph tell us about the last quarter sales? Instead of reading only the text, the AI can understand the chart itself and use it as a part of the response. As AI models become increasingly multimodal, this approach is becoming more practical. Next is Graph RAG. Sometimes information isn't stored as isolated documents, it's connected. For example, a company might have employees, departments, projects, managers, and clients that are all related to one another. A graph RAG system uses these relationships to retrieve meaningful context. Instead of retrieving documents independently, it can follow connections between pieces of information to build a richer answer. This is particularly used in areas like research, enterprise knowledge systems, and complex databases. Next is Agentic RAG. This is one of the newest and most exciting developments. In a traditional RAG system, the process is usually straightforward. Retrieve information, generate an answer, but an Agentic RAG system can make decisions during the process. If the first retrieval isn't sufficient, it can search again. If the information conflicts, it can compare multiple sources. If it needs more context, it can refine the query before trying again. Instead of following one fixed pipeline, it behaves more like an intelligent assistant that can reason through the retrieval process. So you may ask me now, how can we give AI the right information at the right time so it can generate the best possible answer? And that's exactly why RAG continues to evolve. Not because the original idea was wrong, but because engineers keep finding better ways to retrieve information. So let's quickly recap everything we have learned. We started with a simple interview question. How do you build a chatbot that can answer questions from millions of company documents without retraining a language model every day? The answer is Retrieval Augmented Generation. Instead of forcing the model to memorize constantly changing information, RAG allows it to retrieve the right information first and generate an answer based on that information. We learned why traditional language models struggle with constantly changing knowledge. We understood how retrieval augmentation and generation work together. We saw why RAG is different from fine-tuning. We explored where it's being used in the real world. We also discussed its limitations and looked at how technologies like hybrid search, graph RAG, multimodal RAG, and agentic RAG are taking this idea even further. If there is even one thing I want you to remember from this video, it's this. A great AI system doesn't need to know everything. It just needs to know where to find the right information. And that's exactly what RAG is all about. Today, if you open an AI-powered customer support chatbot, an enterprise assistant, or a legal search tool, or even many coding assistants, there's a good chance some form of RAG is working behind the scenes. It's no longer just another AI buzzword, it's one of the foundational architecture behind many modern AI applications. So if you're learning AI engineering, preparing for interviews, or planning to build real-world AI products, understanding RAG isn't optional anymore. It's one of the most valuable concepts you can add to your toolkit. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments and what topic you'd like me to explain next. Maybe MCP, AI agents, model context protocol, vector databases, or fine-tuning in depth. And join our WhatsApp community for not missing out on these updates. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.